Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Oh, 2 seconds. Okay, you're not quite ready then. You're ready now. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that. Welcome, everyone, to the Senate Travel, Recreation, Wildlife, and Cultural Service, Cultural Resources. I can't talk this morning, sorry. Welcome to everyone that's here, and we're excited to have our President of the Senate here to present our first bill, which is Senate Joint Resolution 7, Support for Taiwan. With that, we'll go ahead and turn the time over to President Driscoll.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and committee members. Appreciate it. This bill's an old friend, so if we kind of take a look at support of Taiwan, it's probably it's interesting. Since 1984, Taiwan's been a sister state to the state of Wyoming, and we've got huge trade relations and otherwise. Wyoming, I believe, is one of 2 states that actually has a trade office open. I'm not sure all the legislature knows that, but Wyoming has a trade office in Taiwan that generates millions of dollars of business for the state of Wyoming, and it's kind of interesting. We work together. 84 is when we started this. So this resolution or something pretty close to it has come in every couple of years since 1984. Probably more than ever, it's important when you look at what's happening in the world scheme of things. More than ever, Taiwan is a friend of the United States and a friend of Wyoming, and it's critical that we show our support for them. I was blessed to be able to go over there on one of the trips, and I was one of the ones I'd never been to the Pacific Rim, and went over, you know what communism is and you know what China is, and I went over there expecting it was communist and different. It's just like Wyoming. These people are free people. They're proud to be supporters of capitalism and democracy, and they're great people. It was an eye opener to me. Changed my life and the way I viewed them. So, as you go through, I'm not going to go line by line through it. It talks about what Congress has done and goes through the background. But really, what it is it's a joint resolution. We all know what they do. It just shows our commitment and our support to them. And for me, it's a thank you beyond. We sell beef, grain, numerous other products, and they also, if you're in my industry, they ship a lot of the stuff that you see in tourism through the United States comes back through Taiwan. So, long and short of it, it's in support. I'm not, like I said, I won't spend the time to read it all, but if you got questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, God bless America, and let's support Taiwan as well. I'll stand for questions.
Thank you, Mr. President. Questions for President Driscoll? Well, I was going to say I had one question. It was what was the top export that we're getting from them, and vice versa? And is it beef?
No, I would say it's not beef. I think Idaho probably does more. Idaho does over $1 billion with Taiwan. I think we're. Ron may know back here to come up, but I think we're in the 300 million range. They have burned some of our coal, by the way. When we were there, they were burning Wyoming coal as a test run. I would guess their top import is ag products in general, but I'm not sure of that. And probably going the other way, I would guess is tourism items. They really ship and make a lot of the tourism stuff. So, but I'll find that out for you.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
Anything else? Good President. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody else who would like to testify on this bill? Sounds like there's a couple. Yeah.
In Taiwanese.
Yeah. Welcome. Introduce yourself, even though we know you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Ron Goldberg, the Strategic Partnerships Director for the Wyoming Business Council. The Wyoming Asia Pacific Trade Office opened in September 2018 after legislation in 2018. I will find those answers that Senator Driscoll had talked about. I know there's some ag, obviously on this side, some tourism, and they're talking about beef specifically. There's a lot of Wyoming beef going over there. What we've looked at for opportunities for Wyoming branded beef instead of more of the general U.S. beef. So But beyond that, I'll make sure we get some data for you. Probably some of the stuff coming out of Southwest Wyoming out of the ground is over there too.
Questions for Mr. Goldberg? No. So I do just have one, just follow up on that. So Trona, I assume, or Trona products from Trona, or I assume that's what you're referring to there?
Yeah, and we'll make sure we take a deeper look at it, see what the latest figures show us, so.
Oh, great. And the Wyoming Business Council, you guys have been involved since, what was the year you said?
Madam Chair, 2018, September, the office opened, and we had some pretty good progress in 2019. And then, as we know, COVID hit, and we've had to do a lot of trade shows with our office there, representing Wyoming companies from distillers. We've really got a good niche market going in with some distillers in Wyoming, and then some bioscience companies, and just working across some industries. Obviously, agriculture is important, and trying to diversify the opportunities. We've launched, coming out of COVID, and they lifted their travel quarantine last November. We're looking at some opportunities this year. It's always nice to get actual owners or faces from Wyoming over there. They do a good job representing us at the trade show booths and whatnot, working with distributors, but we want to try to get some boots on the ground again this year, so.
Great. Other questions? You answered one of them that I was going to ask, was about COVID and their status, but thank you for that, because I was interested in knowing where they were in that particular area, so.
Yeah, Madam Chair, we watched, and we were hoping to get over there maybe 2021, 22, and they had a 14-day quarantine, and then it got down to about 3 last summer, and then they lifted it in November. And our director actually came to Wyoming in November and was able to have some blockchain companies he represented. And what I really like is the collaboration and partnerships from agencies to partners to Department of Education. They're working on sister school programs and things like that. And if we need to, we can meet with the UW Blockchain Center of Excellence and make introductions. This is the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of work and it takes time, but what we want to do is create the Wyoming brand over there. I was over there in June 2019 at Food Taipei, and it was very clear to me that I think the island of 23 million people, they all know Yellowstone. Now we're teaching about Wyoming, and you get that brand name going, and that makes things a lot easier. And we did launch earlier this month a 6-week export webinar training program. I believe we started with 20 companies, and it's not like you have to go to all 6, so the numbers could fluctuate, but we're trying to get the word out for Wyoming businesses, small businesses, that there is this opportunity, and we have had some success, minimal so far, with some Wyoming businesses, but the ones that are participating are achieving some good success, and it's something they might want to look at, and there's help with training.
Great. Anything else? Comments? Thank you so much for your testimony. Appreciate all that information.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else that would like to testify on Senate Joint Resolution? I can't talk this morning. Senate Joint Resolution SJ7. Haven't had my caffeine this morning, so. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jim McGagnon with the Wyoming Stockholders Association, also representing the Wyoming wool growers today. I had the fortunate opportunity under former Governor Meade to travel to Taiwan on 2 occasions and work on developing beef marketing opportunities and potential discussions on lamb marketing opportunities with Taiwan. Those were exciting opportunities. We had some little early success. We've had to pull back on that, not because of any problems with the opportunity there, it remains that potential, but because of production issues here in our country of being able to, from Wyoming, provide a finished product to submit there. But we still believe that potential exists. I continue to keep in close contact with the Taiwanese Trade Office here in the United States and explore those opportunities. And we think that that day will come if we can get more meat processing within Wyoming, that we can establish a very viable market for beef and lamb in Taiwan. And they're very anxious to have our product. We were well received, and the product was very well received. So with that, Madam Chair, I would just encourage passage of this joint resolution, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? So the production issues are mainly geared towards our processing plants then?
Madam Chair, yes, because so much, the vast majority of our beef is sent out of state to be processed or even to be finished, then being able to provide product that meets their needs that is traceable back to Wyoming was the challenge that we faced. And we did a number of shipments over there, air freighted shipments of Wyoming beef over there. It was remarkable to go in high-end restaurants and see a code on the menu said Wyoming beef item. You could hold your cell phone over it and see a picture of the ranch in northern Wyoming that raised the beef. And so the potential is great, but it's the tracking of the product through the various production steps. And hopefully that day will come when we have some production of product right here in Wyoming.
Thank you. Do they like lamb over there?
They do, Madam Chair. We found out that they do like lamb, and they've expressed interest in doing something on that front as well. We've not done anything that I'm aware of on the lamb front, but they certainly expressed some interest in it.
Great. Anything else, committee? Thank you, Mr. McGagnon. Appreciate your testimony. Anyone else that would like to testify on this bill, this resolution? Okay. Nobody online for this one? Okay. We'll go ahead and close the testimony on Senate Joint Resolution number SJ7.
Move the bill.
Move the bill by Senator Baldwin. Anybody that has any potential amendments or anything they'd like to add to this resolution? They seem to like it as it is up here. So with that, let's go ahead then and call for the question. Take a roll call vote. I do have a proxy vote for Senator Ellis and for Senator Grew.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Support for Taiwan, Senate Joint Resolution 7, Senator Baldwin.
Aye.
Senator Ellis has marked an aye, and Senator Guru is also aye. Senator Jones and Chairman Schuler.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Thank you very much. That bill passes.
3 more bills, remember that vote.
Thank you, President Driscoll.
Who will present it?
I think President Driscoll would present this. He's leaving, but we'll just go ahead.
President Driscoll?
You're
will you
going to present this bill,
on the
right?
floor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you.
thought so. All right, let's move on to our second bill.
Looks familiar too.
Who's this guy?
I don't know. We've seen him around. Welcome, Senator. Let's hear about Senate File 178, Mountain Lion Pursuit Seasons. Welcome.
And you say that, and of course my computer goes blank. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Senator Boner, District 2, presenting Senate File 178 to the committee here today. Basically, the idea here is that we want our hunters who pursue and ultimately capture and kill mountain lions to be as efficient as possible, and making sure that we can effectively manage that population. Obviously, it's a benefit for the hunters in question, but I think there's also a benefit for those of us in production agriculture. The fewer lions there are, the fewer death loss you have for your livestock. And so this is just a bill that establishes a pursuit season. It's my understanding that dogs are often quite useful in the pursuit and hunting of mountain lions. And this simply allow basically a chance for those hunters and their canines to practice the actual hunt, and basically the idea is that they'll be more efficient that way and have more success in managing the population. And so It's a pretty simple concept, I would say, and the bill itself is also quite simple. We do have some amendments, so after getting some feedback from our ag producers as well as the Game and Fish. But basically, you see on top of page 2, simply allowing the Game and Fish Commission the ability to establish and regulate a lion pursuit season, and given the corresponding authority and their special management permits. Once again, we have to add this, anybody who violates the season in any way would be subject to similar fines for hunting out of season. And just some conforming amendments there on page 4 with the July 1st effective date and immediate rulemaking. So that's the bill. I have an amendment when you're ready, Madam Chairwoman, but I could stand for questions as well.
Questions for Senator Boner? Senator Baldwin?
I think this is probably for the department, but I'll ask Senator Boner anyway, because it's fun to ask questions. And that question would be, do you know what the proposed season would be, what time of year? And the second part of that question is, other states surrounding us with mountain lions, do they have pursuit seasons, not hunting seasons?
Senator Boner?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I would have to defer to the Game and Fish on that one, or you'll hear some testimony from some wildlife organizations as well. Perhaps they would know. So,
Thank you. Other questions for Senator Boner? Okay. Is there an issue in terms of the numbers of mountain lions right now in the state of Wyoming? And are we at a point where there's too many of them, we need to get rid of a few, or where are we at on that, or do you know?
well, Madam Chairwoman, as an ag producer, I'd say there's always too many mountain lions, but you probably want a more nuanced opinion from the Game and Fish who's responsible for managing them. But once again, part of this is helping out production agriculture, and my very biased answer is yes, there are too many.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Mitty? Okay, thank you, Senator Boner.
Do you want me to go over the amendment at all, or?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah. Let's do that.
So we have one here, it's like this, and Game and Fish will have their own, but basically page 2, line 5, basically we want to limit it to any areas where mountain lion hunting is actually occurs. And I guess the one concern potentially from an ag perspective is this is just one more opportunity for people to trespass, if you want to be cynical about it. And we just want to make sure that they're practicing in the areas that it's going to be relevant, and it's just not an open season to go chase mountain lions. So we had that additional provision. And then we also want to make sure that we just want to limit the penalties for anybody who actually just kills a mountain lion out of season. I don't want them to, if the lion goes up a tree, does that count as capturing and they get in trouble for that? That's not the intent of the bill. So that's the input that we've received since filing the bill from my perspective. So I can stand for questions on that.
Questions on that? I just have one. Do you believe that there might be some areas in the state where we'll authorize this and other areas where we might not? Is that again another question for the Game and Fish?
Well, Madam Chairman, that is the intent of the amendment, to make sure that we limit these seasons to the places where there is an actual mountain lion hunt area, I guess, for lack of a better word. So yes, I absolutely imagine there'll be limited areas.
Okay, answered my question. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Thank you for your testimony. Let's go ahead and bring up our agency folks next, I guess. Welcome. How are you doing
Morning.
today, Mr. King?
I'm good. How are you, Madam Chair? Madam Chair, members of the committee, I appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning. I think I can be very quick on this bill. As we've set mountain lion seasons, we've had a number of houndsmen come to us and express their desire to have some ability to continue to use their dogs, even after they've harvested a lion on their license. To us, that makes a lot of sense. About 85% of the mountain lion harvest that occurs in the state is done through the use of hounds. Maintaining hounds is a pretty involved endeavor, as you can imagine. I can't even keep my dog from jumping on the couch, but you can imagine how much work is involved in keeping hounds. And so the commission has some interest in allowing this opportunity. But as you well know, the commission derives all their authority from the legislature. And so this was a belt and suspenders approach to make sure that the authority is there for the commission to establish this type of program. I think in practice, the setting this up would be really straightforward. As you know, we managed mountain lions through harvest mortality limits for each of the hunt areas. And so this would provide an opportunity where we would continue to use that framework. But after that quota is reached, somebody with this special management permit could continue to go into those areas and use their dogs to pursue lions. So very, very simple concept, and I would stand for any questions that you might have.
Questions, Mr. King? Again, I guess my question would just be, do you determine those each year, those quota rates?
Madam Chair, we actually have tried to use a 3-year cycle because harvest can fluctuate each year based on primarily snow. We've tried to go every 3 years, evaluate the harvest over a 3-year cycle, set a new quota for the next 3 years and continue that. We've done that for about the last 15 years now. So 5, we're on the start of our 6th cycle of that.
So where do you think right now we are with mountain lions in terms of the hunting areas that you're looking at?
Yeah, Madam Chair, so one of the considerations that we take when we set those harvest quotas is what's happening on the ground. And so you can see in some areas, for example, I'll use northern Natrona County, southern Johnson County as an example. We have a lot of depredation issues there, a lot of sheep losses. And so in that particular area, we have an unlimited quota and a year-round season. So we try in the season setting process to address those chronic damage areas. I would generally say in eastern Wyoming, our mortality limits are very liberal. In the western Wyoming, mountain lion populations are generally more stable, and our quotas don't tend to fluctuate as much over there.
Other questions for Mr. King? Okay. Do you want to go ahead and talk about your amendment?
Madam Chair, thank you. So this amendment would be in page 2 of the draft bill under the special management permit section. This would simply create a new paragraph under A to where this special management permit for mountain lion pursuit seasons would reside by itself as a standalone paragraph. And the reason for that is really as a guy whose life revolves around these statutes, it's more or less for simple-minded folks like me to keep it all straight. And that's really all it is. It doesn't change the substance of what we're trying to do. It just appeared to be better organized that way.
Questions on the amendment? Do you have a lot of non-resident folks that come in for mountain lion hunts? Just out of curiosity.
Madam Chair, we do. Annually, for example, last year we issued about 3,000 mountain lion licenses, and about 300 or so were non-residents. And in some years, they can account for maybe upwards of 40% of the harvest. So we do have quite a bit of interest from non-residents. And Senator Baldwin, to answer your question earlier, other states do have this pursuit opportunity. Montana, Idaho, Utah, they have something similar. They all call them something different, but many of the surrounding states do have similar opportunities for houndsmen.
Question, Senator Baldwin?
Yeah, I'll make it a question. And I was using my observations in one of the areas I like to elk hunt. There's a significant amount of mountain lions. And often when I'm elk hunting, I run into guys that are out there pursuing, just training their dogs, practicing, and they tell me how many lions and where they've seen lions. They don't need to tell me because every time I shoot an elk, there's a lion there within hours. Pretty significant population. But that was my question, I guess, was, they're already doing it. And I wonder, but it makes sense now that you said once the limit is reached, then these guys can go out and still keep chasing the lions, just not killing them. They're just practicing, pursuing, training their dogs, which I'm like you, I can't. My dogs are not trained to do anything except wake me up at 2 a.m. to go outside.
Right.
So I think you answered my question. Wouldn't you agree? That was my question.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, Senator
Yeah.
Baldwin, yes.
All right. Anything else? No? All right, appreciate the testimony.
Thank you.
Anyone in the room that would like to testify on this bill?
Madam Chair, I also have Luke Worthington online. who
Okay.
is the Wyoming Houndsman.
Okay,
Association.
great, thanks, welcome.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Jess Johnson, Government Affairs Director for the Wyoming Wildlife Federation. We really support this bill, I think, for all the aforementioned reasons. I think when we look at pursuit of lions and the ability to have well-trained dogs and to be able to continue building your pack so it's the most efficient that you have, that just falls into fair chase and ethics in my mind. This is just helping that. This is giving that little extra boost. And it also doesn't penalize them for filling a tag. So a lot of times lion hunters will just hold that tag open and pursue and pursue and pursue so they can train dogs, which is what keeps a sharp and good and ethical hunter. But now to add this pursuit season, they have an incentive to fill a tag, fill the limit, especially around the ag production side of stuff, and then keep training and keep working with the ethics side of it. The other little bit that I think is really important is if the discussion comes up about like stress to the cat, and there's been numerous studies out there that even cats that have been treed 3 times in a day have a very limited creep of cortisol level that comes up. So these cats are getting treed, and most oftentimes for falling asleep in the tree. They're, probably mildly annoyed, but other than that, that's probably just about it. But we stand in support of this bill, and I'm certain Luke will be able to give you a little more sort of view from the boots on the ground on it. But thank you for your time.
Questions for Ms. Johnson? Well, thank you, appreciate your testimony. Anyone else in the room? All right, then let's go online. Welcome, go ahead and introduce yourself. Can you hear us?
How about now?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Okay. Good morning, Chairwoman and members of the committee. My name is Luke Worthington. I'm the founder of the Wyoming Houndsman Association. And I wish I could be in front of you guys today. I'd rather be down there in person because of roads and work. I wasn't able to make it. So this is my next option. But I'm here today to talk about this bill, SF 178, the mountain lion pursuit season. This bill is for resident opportunity to allow houndsmen to harvest a lion and keep their dogs in the woods for training. As of right now, if we were to fill our tag, we get penalized because that means we can no longer be in the woods with our dogs and we can't be out there. So this pursuit season will allow us to be able to harvest a lion of our own. And a lot of us have never done that because as soon as we do harvest a lion, our tag's gone and we can't be in the woods with our dogs alone. So what it is it's resident opportunity to be able to continue hunting and training them dogs. And the benefits of this, of catch and release cats, are that they learn respect for people and dogs, which really does reduce livestock, pet, and human confrontation, which is of lately in Colorado and California, you can see that lions have been attacking people, pets, and really getting into livestock. And these hounds, when they are associated with, when a lion associates a human and a canine together, they associate that. So then when they come down to your farm ground or ranches and dogs are barking, they know that noise and they put us together. So hopefully it keeps them back. But as a houndsman, we put 365 days a year of care and love into our dogs. They are used as a great management tool, but they're also mostly part of our families. These dogs are doing what they're bred and meant to do. For over 20,000 years, man and dogs have hunted together in unity for food, protection, companionship. Please allow this opportunity on passing this bill to help mountain lion management and give us the opportunity to spend more time in the woods with our friends and family. This is not a new thing. A lot of the Western states that allow mountain lion usually have a pursuit season or something in order, usually a non-lethal training season. This allows our dogs more exposure, which makes them a spot-on management tool. Hounds are the best management tool for mountain lions, hands down, but this takes hundreds of hours of training and 100% commitment in the handlers. This pursuit season will allow us to get these dogs honed in on their desired game and makes them a lot more efficient. The Wyoming Houndsman Association, myself, would like to thank you for your time, and we are grateful for your support in this bill, SF 0178, on the mountain lion pursuit season. And thank you.
Maybe I'll get my microphone working. Any questions for Luke today? I just have one. Just wondering about your the amount of time that it takes to train a hound or a dog, whatever type you use. What would you guess that takes just to get them into even a somewhat ready position to be able to do the pursuit?
Madam Chair, I would say if you get a 6-week-old puppy, that dog, I put about 40 hours a week into my puppies training, and that's all year. About when they hit a year old, they're ready to start going with the rest of the pack, and they're pretty straight on falling in, getting game caught. But it's an everyday. Usually a 2-year-old dog is a finished, ready to go dog.
Well,
If that answers your question.
yes, it does. Thank you. It's interesting.
You're welcome.
Had no idea. Well, thank you. Oh, Senator Jones has a question for you.
Madam Chair, how many dogs do people usually use at a time?
Most of the time, most lion hunters that I know, it's 2 to 5 at a time. Some more, some maybe a few more, but not usually. 2 to 5 dogs. Yep.
Any other questions for Luke? Okay. Thank you so much for your testimony. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, if there's nobody else in the room, I guess we'll go ahead and work the bill and close public testimony. Thank you. Let's go ahead and start with, yeah, we did. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. I guess we need to have a motion on this. Okay, motion from Senator Jones to go ahead and move the bill. I jumped the gun again. Let's go ahead and work the bill then. So we have 2 amendments here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first page. There's nothing on either of these for the first page. Both on page 2, looks like. Let's start with Senator Boner's first and go from there. So page 2, line 5. Do you see where that goes in? To establish and regulate resident and non-resident mountain lion pursuit seasons. And we will add in any areas of the state where mountain lion hunting has been authorized. You got that part, Doreen? Okay. And then let's go to page 3, line 6. Okay. And any person who knowingly kills or captures, we're going to take out captures. A mountain lion during a mountain lion pursuit. Any questions on that one or issues, concerns? Okay.
I'll move that.
Okay. Senator Baldwin's moved the amendment. Let's go ahead and ask for our aye votes on the amendment. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, that amendment's been adopted. Let's move on over to the other one from our agency folks. And again, we start on page 2, line 14. Guess we need a motion to, okay, Senator Baldwin made that motion to move the amendment. Page 2, line 14, we're going to delete mountain. Okay. Questions on that one? Okay, and then page 2, line 15, we'll just delete the rest of that, mountain lion pursuit seasons. And then after line 18, page 2, we'll insert and renumber, we'll add B. The commission may by rule and regulation require the purchase of a special management permit by any persons participating in resident and non-resident mountain lion pursuit seasons. So a whole nother paragraph. Any questions or comments on that? Okay. All those in favor of that amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, none. That amendment's also been adopted. All right. Anything else on the bill before we, yeah. Oh. Okay, yours is the same as Senator Boner's. Okay, great. All right, super. Let's go ahead and take a roll call vote on the bill if we don't have any other discussion.
Travel, Senate File 178. Senator Baldwin.
Aye.
Senator Ellis has chosen aye. Senator Guru has voted no. Senator Jones. And Chairman Schuler.
Aye.
4 ayes and 1 no.
Okay, that bill has passed by a vote of 4-1. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and for your testimony. We appreciate it. And,
Will Senator,
excuse me,
who will present it?
Senator Boner, I assume you'll want to present the bill, correct?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, meeting's adjourned.